I'm here with Richard Soley. Richard, the Internet of Things is huge, not only in terms of number of devices. What's the impact to the industry?
Well, I think first of all, who cares about the number of devices? What's interesting is what you do with those devices. And the impact is in every industry. We have test beds operating at the Industrial Internet Consortium today in healthcare devices, in manufacturing and transportation, in smart cities integration, in smart electric grids. So it's going to disrupt many, many, many industries. And I think that people are thinking too much about the consumer applications and not the industrial applications.
Talking about the industry in terms of the use cases, so you get all these data, all these connected devices, you know where a person is related to a tool, what to use it for. Give you some examples.
So you mentioned manufacturing. I'll just tell you about our first public test bed managed by Bosch, Tech Mahindra and Cisco. The idea simply is to track every person, every part, every work in progress and every tool on the factory floor. What can you do with that information? You can make sure the factory floor is more efficient. You can make better use of the floor because you know in real time not only which parts of the floor are being used for what, but which parts of the floor are going to be available by doing predictive analysis. You can also, more importantly, make the floor safer by making sure that a person who picks up a tool uses it only in a way that is safe, in a way that he or she has been trained, and with the work in progress that is the correct work in progress with the part that is the correct part, and at the right torque and everything and so forth. It's a revolution, in fact, in the way manufacturing is done. Safer, more efficient, better just-in-time delivery of inputs, and better understanding of which just-in-time deliveries of outputs are going to come from the factory floor.
How do you see the acceptance by the people who have to be part of that ecosystem?
Well, I think as is true of any change, it's difficult to make change. And that's why change transformation people are so well paid. The reality is, though, once you see the results, whether it's in dairy farming, or whether it's in manufacturing, or whether it's in electric grids, or whether it's in smart cities, you can't deny the results, and the results are spectacular. Dairy farming, 40% more milk. Smart electric grids, no more power shedding. There are opportunities that are impossible to ignore. So the only question is, do you disrupt your own market, or do you wait for somebody to disrupt it for you, and perhaps disrupt you out of business?
But what about privacy?
Well, this is an important issue. Normally people talk from the technical perspective about security, and that's something that we have to solve in the Industrial Internet Consortium, is building a security framework for exactly that reason. What privacy is about, and data sovereignty, which is the more general term, that has to be a decision made by policymakers. That has to be a decision of regulation and government. We have to decide what data is collected, who owns that data, and who can share that data. Here in Germany, of course, there are very complete laws and regulations on that topic, but they're inconsistent with not only the rest of the world, but even the rest of the European Union. And we need serious work on that, and I know that fortunately the politicians are making the analysis that's necessary and dealing with the data sovereignty, data analysis, and data privacy rules that need to be dealt with.
I guess standardization would be also key to that kind of process, right?
Yes, the problem with standardization, however, is if you do it too early, you ignore the opportunities and you don't take advantage of what you learn from actually building test beds. So I also run the Object Management Group, which is one of the world's largest standards organizations, and you'd think we'd be running off making IoT standards, but we haven't. The reason is we are learning from the test beds, the Industrial Internet Consortium test beds, what standards are necessary, and they're not in the area of middleware, of moving bits and bytes from here to there. That we know how to do. At the Object Management Group, we've actually developed and published middleware standards since 1989. What's much harder to do but much more valuable is what we call semantic technology, semantic integration. That is taking information from various sources and making sure that it's about the same information, about the same topic, and being able to integrate that in real time. And real-time predictive analytics requires knowing the semantics of the information that you receive.
That's a quite huge field. Richard, good to have you here. Thank you very much.